Listener discretion is advised. This show is for a mature audience. Strong language and controversial topics will be featured. Please do not try to recreate or attempt our bad decisions. Create your own. What You Shouldn't Do with Em and Joe, a podcast about all the things we were told we shouldn't do, but did anyways.
Hello, this is for episode 5, Environmental Issues Matters. I don't know what we're titling it yet. Daniel,
the environment and its renewable energy sources.
Okay, good.
Yep.
I like that. Environment and renewable energy sources.
Indeed.
Hello, Daniel.
Hello.
Welcome to Em and Joe.
I'm very happy to be here, and thanks for inviting me.
Of course. We appreciate you coming on. Daniel, we have chosen you because of your work that actually Joe has been involved with, doing musical events for...
Yeah, the Riverkeeper events. Those are so awesome. What gave you the idea to actually create a benefit like that? Was it yours, or was it someone else who started that?
Well, I guess, yeah, I was involved in music. I mean, I threw dance parties back, probably 6 or 7 years ago. And then, so I had some event production experience. And I don't know, I went canoeing on the Cahaba River once, and it just hit me like, this is a really great thing. And like, why don't we take better care of this resource that we have, that we all need to survive? So I just decided to get involved with the local Riverkeeper, and then started throwing these benefit concerts for them. And it's just been growing from there. I mean, we raised about $17,000 in Birmingham this year and $6,000 in Huntsville for the Tennessee Riverkeeper.
So 6,000 out of 17,000. So that was like at least more than a third.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was the first year in Huntsville. It was the third year in Birmingham. So it's, it's always growing, I guess.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear
Wow,
that.
Dude.
So, as a result of all this fundraising, what does the Tennessee Riverkeepers do with this money? I kind of know, but I want you to explain it from your perspective as a worker in the movement.
Yeah, I mean, they advocate for the river. I mean, legally, they go, they patrol the river and look for sources of illegal pollution. And in the case of like the Tennessee Riverkeeper, like a case study example is that they are suing the 3M Corporation because they dumped basically like thousands of gallons of these really toxic chemicals into the water supply. And like these things called polyfluorinated chemicals, I think PFCs and PFOAs.
And PFOS.
They like bioaccumulate in fish and in human beings and cause really bad neurological things to happen.
Yeah, it causes issues with developmental issues. I know there was some studies that said that fish genders would change when they were exposed to this. Like they would be in the womb.
Chromosomes?
Yeah, like as they're growing, they would have both sex organs, and it would mess them up. They couldn't have babies. They were all messed up. They literally had an organ disability. And so
I wonder if that is what caused humans to have both as well.
It can cause birth defects.
It's possible that, but also the hormones and things that they put in a lot of processed like meats and things to make things grow faster or to produce like more milk. I always wonder if those don't influence human beings too to exhibit those traits.
It's interesting. It's a source. It said that the stuff that was in Decatur, that was dumped in the Decatur area of the Tennessee River, was stuff from fabric. It protects fabrics. And then the stuff that was dumped
and it creates nonstick coatings and like Teflon coatings.
Yeah, from like pans and stuff too, right?
That too. Yeah. But they said that the majority of it was from the fabric. And they said that the stuff in Minnesota is from the the non-stick pans.
Wow.
It's weird that they know the exact source. So 3M knows what they're doing.
They can just test it, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
scrape off some of the material from each and just do all their sciencey testings and whatnot.
Absolutely. Take water samples and send it to their lab. You know, I mean, all the water keepers are connected so they can kind of share resources.
That's awesome.
You know, like Coosa Riverkeeper has a really good water quality lab, and Black Warrior's really good at enforcement and like, legal action. So they all kind of collaborate together,
Yeah.
share their strengths.
The water we're drinking. It's kind of important.
Right.
Yeah.
And in some
absolutely.
cases, like not drinking, like
Yeah.
some, municipalities will say don't drink the tap water because it's got these really bad things in it.
And it's really bad
And-
because there's still, as far as I know, there's still no way to filter these out, right?
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people don't have a choice. I mean, there's nowhere else to get water, for a lot of some people can't afford bottled water, or they don't have time to go to the store and get it, and you
And a lot of
need to
people
drink
can't
like a
afford-
gallon a day or else you just die. So
Exactly.
you have to get it from somewhere. And
Flint water.
A lot of people can't even afford like purifiers. Like we have a water purifier, but even
But doesn't filter that shit out. We'll still get it in our water.
right, like heavy metals and small,
Doesn't get everything.
chemicals are really hard to filter out. I mean, you would need a reverse osmosis system to get those out.
Hey guys. Hey Sheree. The mama of my baby. Okay, so yeah, that it's an issue because it's happened in Minnesota. Minnesota won an $850 million lawsuit. I feel like that's still just chump change for 3M. And I
Yeah.
know that they still did it in Alabama, so they didn't learn their lesson. They're just willing to make the cost. And what happened in Minnesota is a lot different than Alabama. It seems like in Alabama, it was the Riverkeepers that had to sound the alarm, and the water authorities. They went behind
Right, because
Bentley, right?
like I looked at 3M's statement and they said, basically everything we did was legal,
Because Alabama
it's legal
allows
to
it.
dump these, terrible chemicals in the water. Yeah, we have a permit to do this is basically their argument.
Yeah, and Bentley was like, "Huh? What? This didn't happen." That was when he was getting in trouble with his hands. Jesus. Okay, so that is part of what you do. What does Airwave exactly mean, and what does it consist of?
Yeah, Airwave basically exists to connect people to their local riverkeeper, to connect all of us water-based life forms, all us people that rely on clean water to be happy and live healthy lifestyles,
So everyone
be
should
the best we
part of
could be.
Airwave.
Absolutely. It's basically a live music event. We have bands come from all over, performers, and come and take the stage and donate their sets to raise money for clean water.
As
Which
Joe
is
did.
so awesome.
Joe did amazing. We got to put in some of the audio from your show.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, if I have some good stuff. I don't know if it's good. I was singing along. Okay, so what else did you talk about with renewable energies? You said that you are interested in or know more about solar molten salts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the hottest thing, pun intended, is molten salts. And it's basically, I can describe it if you want.
I'm gonna go check. There's a
Yeah.
knocking going on. Sorry.
Yeah,
Trying to
sorry,
figure out
hold
if
on.
It's our door or someone else's.
Oh, that's
Sorry,
ominous.
we're like way in the back of our apartment.
Yep. It's okay. Sherry, the topic is the environment and its renewable energy sources. Yes.
And the sun can provide all the energy we need.
It surely can. Like, that's what I'm saying. And the only thing that's like holding us back from actually creating a lot of technology and actually like using the energy from the sun is the freaking oil tycoons.
Absolutely. I mean, they're dug in deep.
Paying
They've got
off.
way more resources than, a lot of the alternative energy companies.
Yeah, that's true.
It would cost them a lot of money to change and cost them nothing to keep doing the same thing. So
Exactly.
It's terrible.
And because we live in such a consumerist society, it's just gonna like continue to be like this for a little while until there's more people that are actually like standing for renewable energy, which is actually happening more. As you can see, like in grocery stores and like Target, even there's even like little lights that you can put on your driveway. They're solar powered, and just other small things.
Yeah,
Appliances.
Absolutely. And
It
then
starts to feel
California
like
just mandated solar energy on all new construction projects.
Nice.
California
When-
gets so much sunshine. Why aren't we doing that in Colorado as well?
It's true.
Like they get so
Colorado
much.
has a lot of wind. I think they're like 50% of their energy comes from wind.
Seriously.
Oh yeah,
Turbines.
all of the wind turbines that we
Duh.
passed when we went to Colorado. That was
on the way to
amazing.
Absolutely.
Kansas.
Yes,
It's a lot of
She went
juice.
crazy.
so beautiful.
So
Airwave.
yeah, my friend also is like my friend's Shelly. She likes to introduce alternatives to small things in your life. Like I want to not use plastic wrap anymore. There's this like it's a biodegradable version that you can reuse so many times. You know,
Nice.
you only use plastic wrap once or twice anyways. You can
Yeah.
use this thing multiple times with fruit and other stuff. So she just introduces small ways, and we can tag her little post. It's really informational, really quick, really easy to digest, and easy to adapt in your life. I think the more consumers demand this, and that's going to take a social movement and investment in our children's future. And what I tell the kids that I work with, because I'm a teacher, I tell them, this is your future. I'm part of the green team. I'm in charge of recycling and informing kids how to make better choices. There's our alternatives. We just have to mobilize those
Exactly.
alternatives in our everyday life.
And make sure that it's affordable.
Yeah,
for
and demand
everyone to do, and
and demand
whether it's-
industries and government to follow suit.
like time affordable and also money affordable. Yeah. Do
Yeah.
all of
Absolutely. I mean, single-use plastics are like probably one of the worst pollutants of. I mean, you know about the plastic beach, you know, the Gorillaz album.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
the actual plastic beach that
It's terrible.
is just floating out there that the album was based on, the size of like 4 Texases or whatever it was.
Yeah, the Great
Massive.
Pacific Garbage Patch is what they named it. It's
Yeah.
really scary because it's so large and so massive, and it's still spread out that they have to like take years to clean it up, and they're so worried. There's this kid already working on it, but he's afraid that it might be too full by the time they actually get everything off the ground in 2 years.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's terrible. So we need to really reduce that. Anyways,
And we also need to sign the Paris Treaty again. Fucking Trump. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
so I think it's just going to come down to the people. It's going to come down to those who are going to be affected by it. So can you please tell us about your journey or your planned journey to France?
Right. Well, let me tell you about a past journey really quick. I was in Oregon last summer, and just back to what we were just talking about, they have basically banned plastic bags and styrofoam and like pretty much all single-use plastics in Oregon.
Nice.
Like the
Did you go to
government has
Portland?
said you cannot use these anymore.
Go,
Like
Oregon,
definitely
go.
the city of Portland and Ashland and Eugene have all
I'm going
signed
for it.
on. I'm not sure the entire state, but you know, the government stepped in and said like people have demanded this, and so we're going to create a law that says creates this change for the better.
Yeah, I remember when I visited Portland last spring, the person I was staying with, they had 3 different recycling bins. One for just like biodegradable trash, one for plastic, and another one for like aluminum and metals and stuff like that. And it was like heavily enforced, because if they find something in your garbage, like the apparently, I don't know how true this is, but that's what they told me. They like look through your garbage
So
to make sure that it's all in their designated spots, and if it's not, you get fined.
they could totally pay people that are like already rummaging through it anyways. Like
Yeah.
pay them an extra.
Oh, they do. Oregon has the highest deposit on bottles and cans, so it's a 10-cent deposit on every single recyclable object. So people will literally go dumpster diving to get like lunch money, you know.
Yeah.
Cool. I could like give someone my like literal recycling and be like, here you go, you're welcome. I just treated you $5.
Right.
Love you.
That's true.
That's my donation to society. You can do my recycling for me. Thank you. That's awesome. So, you said that you went to Oregon recently, and then now you're going to hike somewhere?
That's right. So next month, around solstice, I'm flying to London, and then I'm going to get a train to Paris, and then to this place called Murat, which is the remains of the largest supervolcano in Europe.
Whoa.
It's called the Monts du Cantal, and so that's like the shakedown hike for this way big hike that I'm doing. I'll be hiking 1,000 miles in the French Pyrenees and the French Alps, the two mountain ranges on the west and the east of the country.
Wow. That sounds so rad. So how long is your expedition going to be?
It'll be about, well, I only have 3 months because that's the visa that they give you. You have 3 months as, in the Schengen zone of European countries. So
That's some cool
90
information.
days.
So you're gonna
And
take
it's
that
super
full
not
3
expensive
months?
as long as you don't go crazy on like accommodations, because I'll be camping in the high mountains for most of the time. So I save a lot of money on, lodging.
Nature.
guess.
Nature.
And food is probably $1,000 a month. So I've just been saving up, and
So you got the nature hotel on lock. Is it gonna be like, what's the weather like, or the temperatures, or the terrain, and what made you decide on this mountain range?
okay, that's like 7 million questions, but I will answer them all. The weather is crazy. It can do anything at any time. It can be really cold or really hot. It can be sunny and like monsoon thunderstorming at the same time. So you just never know, and you have to be prepared for anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
The terrain is really steep, rocky. It's nonstop up and down, high elevation, alpine meadows and high glacial peaks and lakes. And I don't know if you've seen some of the Instagram photos I've done, but
I did.
that's
Yeah,
one of my
they're
favorite
beautiful.
colors is the color of the high glacial lakes.
Wow.
Beautiful
That's awesome.
aquamarine turquoise color.
So that's what made you want to hike it then?
I don't know. I was hiking the Continental Divide Trail in 2016, right when I graduated college. I decided I wanted to do something totally different because I was so tired of school. I was like, I've done this forever, and I don't want to do it anymore. So I spent 5 months hiking from Mexico to Canada along the spine of the Rocky Mountains. And when I was in Montana near the end of this trail, I met this guy named Paul
Revere?
Mastuono, who was this
What was his name?
old guy from France. His name is Paul Mastuono.
Okay.
And so he lives in the Pyrenees and totally loves the area. And I didn't even know they existed until he told me
Yeah.
that I should go hike them. And I was like, okay, I'll look into it. And then I looked into it and I was like, oh my God, this is everyone
That's
that,
awesome.
does these kind of hikes says it's some of the most beautiful hiking they've ever done. And so that's all I needed to hear.
We want to go.
Can we hang out with this guy?
Well, follow
Paul.
me on Instagram at Fletcher D. Morris, and I will take you to all of the places.
What?
What?
Wait.
What'd you say?
Where are we going? Let's go. Pack your bags, Joe. Where are we going? Huh?
Yeah.
Tell us where you're taking us again.
My internship is over July
Just 1,000
23rd.
miles.
I'm coming.
You said
But no, I
after.
post a lot of photography of just beautiful mountain scenes and just the things I see while I'm out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But mostly just vast sweeping views of mountains and lakes and beautiful meadows.
I
You have a
misheard
great
you.
eye
And
for
nothing
that.
civilized,
You have a great eye
No
for that.
buildings or
too.
roads.
Yeah, those are beautiful pictures. So that's why you chose to climb. I love those moments when I meet people. When I went to San Juan, Puerto Rico, they were like, you have to go to Rincon. And I'm like, okay. And so I went to Rincon and I love it. So it's my only place that I go to now. Go straight there and
Right.
not go anywhere else.
It was destiny.
Yeah, like you have to hear from the people that live there. You know, like I can tell you the best spots here in northern Alabama.
And just the chance encounters that influence your life in a certain direction. It's,
The journey
The journey.
of self-discovery. So
we're all in it together.
hey, we are.
So let's go back to the molten salt. We didn't talk about that.
talk about it.
Oh yeah, that's right. So molten salt, they just built this, basically a molten salt reactor where they have, about 1,000 mirrors that are the size of each of them are the size of a house, and they're all pointed at this sphere that is filled with molten salt. And the sunlight, the mirrors follow the sun, so it's always pointed at this tower. It heats up the salt to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And then it goes down into this tank and it stores the heat energy. And then when you need power, you run water through that tank basically in a pipe or a heat exchanger or something like that. And it generates steam, which you use to run a turbine. And this reactor in, I think it's Nevada, can power 75,000 homes. And it costs less than coal, fossil fuels, and
So
Just from
clean,
one
dirty
rock?
source of energy.
How big is this rock?
How big is the what?
The rock.
The rock.
Yeah, the salt rock.
Oh, it's not a rock. It's molten, magma. It's
Molten
salt
magma.
that is in a liquid state.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's salt that is so hot that it turned liquid. It's like a rock that has been turned into lava.
So
and
it's
then
a
they
plasma?
pump it into a tank and store it in its liquid state. And then when the water touches it, it just instantly vaporizes and creates really high steam pressure. And then
Right.
that, runs a steam generator turbine.
So, what powers it? Is it powered through what?
It's powered by steam. I mean, all
It powers itself?
all combustion, even a nuclear reactor is powered by steam.
Wow. So, how do they get...
Nuclear power is just heating up water.
pressure.
It's just heating up water with the power of
Yeah, that's
atomic
what I'm curious
fusion,
about. What's
fission.
the chemical base of this stuff? Is it actually a plasma?
Oh, it's
what
just
is
regular
it?
table salt,
Really?
Sodium and potassium chloride.
So all we would need to do is just mine for salt.
Oh yeah, we have plenty of salt
Yeah.
everywhere. I mean,
Salt Lake
especially
City.
near the ocean for desalinization.
That's true.
Do the Mormons really need all that salt? Give it up. We need salt from the Salt Lake. That's awesome. So it's an alternative to nuclear. It's an alternative to solar panels if you don't have enough direct sunlight, or
It also
in
keeps
addition
people.
to
It gives
So then it
people
can
jobs
run at night.
too.
It can store energy for up to 12 hours.
it. Yeah, and it said that lasts for 30 years.
I guess the mirrors would probably degrade after 30 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it said the lifespan is to be expected of 30 years plus.
Yeah.
But that's, typical of any power plant.
That's pretty good.
Coal or nuclear or anything. I mean, nothing lasts forever. You have to
Yeah.
replace it after a while.
Infrastructure would need to be replaced anyways, usually by that point anyways.
But usually you would value it by the cents per kilowatt hour, the way they determine that, based on their costs. And
True. So a smaller community could work it probably longer. You think?
well, no, the bigger the thing is, the lower the better economies of scale you can get on all the materials and everything else, and the cheaper it would be. So they're building one that's twice as big in, I think, Belgium and in Australia, and they're going to be half as the electrical price will be half as much per kilowatt hour. So it'll be 6 cents per kilowatt hour, as opposed to here in Alabama, we pay 12 cents per kilowatt hour for coal power.
We need to follow in Belgium's example.
Right.
Australia.
It's definitely hot enough in Alabama. I mean,
Yeah, that's for sure. With all the
Salt
humidity
will
we
boil
have, we could.
automatically.
Yeah. Well, that's really good to know. So what made you get interested in that? Just your own research, or do you know someone that does it? Any research in it?
I think, actually, I probably heard it from Bill Nye. I mean,
Oh,
I
Bill Nye.
I love all the Star Talk radio and Neil deGrasse Tyson and all that. But I'm pretty sure that's where I heard it from and did a lot of research on it. And I think that's, aside from, if I had all of the resources in the world, I would drill into the center of the earth and then use that to boil water to run steam things, or like use a volcano or something like that. Some geothermal source of energy I think would be really valuable too.
Yeah, a lot of people, and so in Hawaii, there's actually some scientists that have put a couple of, oh my goodness, actually, never mind, because I forgot exactly what it is. But I know that a lot of people in Hawaii that have like volcanoes near their homes, they want to keep it sacred. They don't want scientists messing around with it. So that's like another thing that has to be taken into consideration. All the people's lives that will be affected, even though scientists are trying to make it better for us to live, a better situation for us to live and expand as a society.
You have to think
There's
about
still a
it.
lot
It's
of
still your
things to take
backyard.
into consideration.
Sometimes when it's your backyard, it's a different story than when it's someone else's backyard,
And that's why education is so important on renewable energy and why it will be a more positive thing for everyone. So I feel like it does start with education and getting more kids interested in it too, so they'll create more ideas. Like there's this one kid that she was, I want to say 8, and she created this app that will actually test the waters, the Flint River, test it to see if it had any lead poisoning in it, and it'll just say yes or no if it's safe to drink.
Well, it's not the river. It's their actual home. It's their pipes to their home.
Oh.
So they test probably the home water, but yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. It's sad that an 8-year-old girl has to come up with it and adults aren't doing this for them.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But that's the thing is I think the future needs to be, reminded that this is something that we have to work on all together.
Absolutely.
Old, young, doesn't matter. We all drink water and we're all made of water.
Mm-hmm.
So until you figure out another substance to live off of.
Exactly. Which is kind of what I'm
Rondo.
going to be studying starting on Wednesday. Because I'm going to University of Alabama to study lignocellulose, which is actually found in plants. And it can help convert H2 into an energy source that we can use for like cars, for example. You can use H2 instead of
My math teacher told us this.
oil.
He said hydrogen too, though. He said H2 is going to be what we use. Oh my God.
that's
Mr.
what I'm
Shin
studying.
is going to be so proud that you're studying it. My best friend is studying this stuff. When teachers find out their students did it, they're so proud. This is for you, Mr. Shin.
Yep.
2 teachers
For those that don't know, when you combust H2, you just get water.
Yeah, I know.
Vapor.
That's what he told us. Back in 8th grade, my freaking teacher was on it. He was like, this is going to be the future. He told me, what's up?
And you can make it with nothing but water and electricity.
Yeah.
So if you have an unlimited source of electricity, you have an unlimited source of this combustible gas
Exactly.
that
And
can
that's
drive
why
cars and trains and everything.
we're going to be studying the CDS and CDO photocatalysts that will help convert this and make it an easier process. And then that way it'll be my big thing is the affordability of all of this. What our research is actually going towards, and that's actually providing for people who can't afford to deck out their homes in geothermal systems and solar panels on top of their house. We actually have a society here in Huntsville, and I went to one of the meetings, and what they talk about is just oh yeah, I spent over $20,000 decking out my home in solar panels and my geothermal system and stuff like that. And I'm just man, I'll never be able to afford that. And I kept thinking, how can people afford this? How can people, kind of another topic, Dr. Blackman, he's a mechanical engineer over at UAH, and he actually created...
University of Alabama in Huntsville.
Yes. He planted a heliostat. You know what a heliostat is, right, Daniel?
Like a sun measurement device.
Yes, and it also collects the energy, so it's also like a solar panel itself, and it has a battery inside of it. And so he created that and a solar farm at the University of Alabama in Huntsville. He's a really cool guy. But he was telling me, and this is why I'm about the whole how can we make it more affordable? He's like, you know, there's really no money in solar energy, and I can tell he's like a little down about it, but we're gonna help you out, Dr. Blackman. It's gonna be young engineers like us that'll help him, that'll help like reignite his passion in it. But he was saying that, you know, the more technology comes out, you know, the more expensive it's gonna be, and the more that like people are gonna be relying on renewable energy, the prices in electricity are gonna go up. You know, and so people who can't afford this technology, they're going to be spending more money trying to get electricity in their homes. Capitalism. So
If there's no regulations made, though.
exactly.
That's why I'm becoming a lawyer.
But now there's like tariffs on like solar panels and stuff that's being made from China and et cetera, that's like making it really hard for people to acquire and adapt, and it's just, that's why we need more awareness, more people out there, more engineers being involved in it, not trying to take engineers away from like petroleum and stuff. I know there's a lot of money in that right now. Petroleum engineers, man, they make the most out of all engineers, actually. Did you know that?
Yes.
It's pretty crazy. But they're not going to have jobs projected in the next 20 years. But I don't know how true that is. We'll see.
Well, we're gonna run out. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean
Yeah.
run out. Run out of time. Run out of like actual fossil fuels.
Exactly.
So that's why.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna die. Fossil industry. I'm sorry. I'm really,
That's the
really
good thing.
violent when it comes to like pollution. Like I'm really hardcore. So at my school, my kids probably call me the recycle like crazy lady, because like if a kid drops anything, I'm just like, that will go in our rivers and it will pollute us.
They gotta learn.
We're
I mean,
sick.
somebody has to teach them to care.
What? Yeah, I get crazy, and even if they don't care, they're just like afraid of me because I'm growling at them, growl talking, and so they they do it. Now kids like go grab it before it rolls off, and I'm like, thank you. Like, this is your future I'm caring about, not even mine. I'm gonna die before it's a real issue. That's really gruesome, but it's true. Like, I'm not gonna really have to suffer as long as other people will that are younger if we don't do something about it right today, like right now.
Exactly.
Continue funding, continue bringing awareness to it, and continue going outdoors. I think more kids need to see. Parents, I urge you, if you have parents or you have nephews, nieces, anyone in your life, just expose them to the outdoors. Just like you said, when you were at the Cahaba River.
Right.
And that's here in northern Alabama, right? Or where is it?
Oh, it's it's the longest freshwater river in Alabama. So it kind of runs from northeast near the Little River Canyon, just west of that, all the way south to the Alabama River.
Cool.
I've actually been to Little River Canyon. That place is awesome, except for all the wolf spiders. I don't like the wolf spiders.
Don't they jump?
No.
Yeah. God, they're huge. And they swim. My God.
Buy some wolf spider fakies.
Please don't do that.
You can give me back though.
You know I will.
No, so that's what really I think brings a lot of awareness. I met people out in California, and you would think California, surely, even if you live in the big city, you definitely have seen some trees. I met kids that I went to college with that are going to college, so they're becoming college educated. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go hiking, next week, blah blah blah, up in Santa Cruz. They're like, hiking. And I was like, yeah. And they're like, aren't you afraid of the animals and all the wildlife? And I was like, it's Santa Cruz, bro. Like, it's Santa Cruz. There's so many people that go through. No, like, I'm not afraid. And I was like, it's chill. Like, you should come with me. And they were so afraid to go. And I said, wait, have you ever been hiking? They live in Oakland or they live in San Francisco, in a city. And they're like, no, I've never been. This is something that's less than 20 minutes away from them. At the most. Sometimes 10 minutes away. They just don't know. They don't go. And so a lot of my friends
So used to the city.
Yeah, so I actually introduced a couple of people to like hiking. I started like at a park. I'm not even joking. Like I was like, okay, let's go on this little like pond excursion and get you used to being outdoors.
I promise you'll only run into like caterpillars and ants.
Yeah, I know. Cats.
and wild feral cats.
Stray cats looking for food, and they're just like, okay, this is chill. This is okay. And I'm like, okay, can we go hiking? So I think that is something it's joking like now, but it's serious. Like if you get to see what nature is, you get to appreciate our resources and keep them that way. Pristine.
Exactly.
Well, we thank you for letting us interview you, Daniel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's been a
Appreciate
really
it.
good time. And is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we're done asking you all the million questions. Sorry, I kind of spewed you with a bunch of question bullets. I kind of think really fast. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. You're in good company.
Awesome. Yeah, you're really awesome, Daniel. So
We appreciate your
thank
hard
you so
work.
much,
Thank
and
you for the future. Thank you for the kids.
hopefully see you around. I think I'll be in Birmingham like every other weekend this summer. So
Absolutely, and we're all connected on the internet, so
yeah,
I'm sure we'll see each other.
The
Absolutely.
internets.
the internet.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for talking on M and Joe Talk, the environment and the renewable sources of energy.
And
Thanks
if
for
you
having me.
will,
I'll see you next time, I guess.
will you state your full name?
Yes.
Yeah, like full like driver's license name, or like
Whatever you
full
want
name?
to
Yeah,
state.
Daniel
Dan Morris,
Ragnarok
I guess, is
Morris.
what people
Whatever
know
you
me by
wanna
as Dan Morris.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Cool.
Awesome. Is that our entire show, basically?
Basically.
Awesome.
All right. Well, this is Joe,
This is them.
and thank you for watching Em and Joe Talk.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.